We should be live now. It is Saturday. We are getting ready to paint here. It is very much a painting day. Hope everybody's having a good day. We're doing acrylic painting this afternoon. We are picking back up where we've left off with our flamingo painting. Hope everybody's weekend is off to a good start. This might not be a fine enough point here. Well, maybe we'll be okay. Gonna take us a couple of coats. To get this section around the eye. So we're just gonna dive in. And get to work here. Now I'm not sure how far down I'm gonna bring the white. I didn't quite figure that part out yet. We'll see where our mood takes us here. I kind of feel like that should probably be black though. I feel like I'm okay with this being white up to a point. And then we're gonna have our black come in here. Oh, okay, I see where the line for the black was now. I got it. I see what I was doing over here. I kind of lost the line on the other one. Alright. It happens sometimes if your pencil line's not quite heavy enough and you do a wash over it or a glaze or whatever. If you do an underpainting on it, sometimes the underpainting can eat those smaller lines, lighter lines, excuse me. There we go. that's a bit better. See that that white that we put on there hasn't quite dried yet. And I can tell this because it's starting to turn a little bit gray. Excuse me. Really, KofiBot does not want to join us today. Or do I need to go log into Ko-fi? I don't know. KofiBot might be in the chat. I think one day, I don't know if it was this week or last week, it usually posts the Ko-fi link like every half hour. I don't have any control over how often it posts that with the type of membership I have with them. But it was posting every half hour, and then the one day it just didn't post at all, and I was like, okay. This is odd. Kind of, sort of. And then it started posting regular, so I don't know if it was just my side of... God damn it. Hand. Could you not? You're making a mess. Thank you. There goes the YouTube algorithm. So we haven't done our final pass on the body yet. And that's okay. I kind of wanted to get this going here. got too terribly far. And there's all different species of flamingos, so you're gonna see different variations. On beaks and stuff and markings. Let's see if I can grab a little bit of white here. Just want to get our beak split in here. Hopefully that'll still be a little bit visible. I would like to think it would be, but you never know. That section doesn't look like it's quite dry yet. All right. So I'm gonna try to get right up on the edge here. Like, this black feels a little bit gray while it's drying, but maybe not. Okay, we're gonna get that pinked up a little bit. Because looking at the other one, I lost my lines and it doesn't look right now. That's okay. It's acrylic paint. We can certainly make adjustments. So everybody's doing well today. I did get my new brushes that I kind of settled for. And then last night I found the brushes that I think would work better. I'm like, oh good. They are hugely expensive for what they are. So I'm not real happy about that. But that's gonna have to wait to get those ones. Probably till like November. More than likely. Okay, yeah, we're gonna clean up that edge of the face there. I might have to put some white on there. Just to make this a little bit easier to adjust. But hey, we hadn't finished the body yet. And it's good that we didn't. Oh, there's Kofi Bot. They decided to join us today. I don't have a whole lot of offerings on coffee, but it's just kind of there because some people don't like to donate through Twitch. We don't have a Patreon. Number one, I have no idea what I would do for tier rewards. I'm not set up to make stickers or anything like that. That shit takes money. It takes money to make a lot of money, and unless you're insanely popular, and I just don't have the income that I can dump into this. To not get anything back out of it. At this point in time. And I had tried briefly, well, not briefly, for a while. We had the Teespring shop, and I think we had one sale. So it kind of wasn't worth chasing after at that point, because I only have so much energy, you know. Only so much energy to go around in a day. Alright. So, what color was this? I believe It was hot pink. I didn't have to reset my microphone today. That was great. Or yesterday. So I think, shit. Sorry, hold on. See, I wear shitty clothes when we paint for a reason. I just opened that bottle of paint and went to put it on our plate, and paint just like came forth out of the bottle the second I turned it upside down. Unannounced and completely unexpected. I don't understand how I can see our YouTube videos and people are dressed like so nice, and I'm like, why? You all must have a hell of a lot more confidence in yourself, in your klutz factor, and your supplies, because holy hell. So I've got all kinds of shirts with paint and stains, and I have a whole set of shirts that I'm willing to risk getting paint on. That I don't really wear outside of the house because they're old or ratty or threadbare, you know, whatever. Everybody has them, whether they want to admit it or not. You know, if you don't have painting clothes, then think of them as clothes that you clean in and stuff. There we go. That's a bit better shape-wise. A little bit. Now I have a huge blob of pink. On my shirt. And not a great place, so yay. Alright, dry our brush off the best I can. You have a Momo. This needs a little bit more here. Like I said, the white in this section was going to take a few passes. I was actually thinking about doing the white on the other one while we were here. with the color, but it's also right where my arm is sitting at this moment, so we might hold off on that. Okay. So I'm just kind of letting that dry. Oh, right, we need some gray. Forgot about that. Did forget about needing the gray. Okay. How about we go with Rainy Day Gray in this shade, this paint. Whose palette do we want the Rainy Day Gray to live on? I'm working with two lids here. Haven't cleaned either one of them since we started working on this. Alright, so this color's pretty thin. Alright, I'm gonna pop this guy up and try to figure out where our flower petal is gonna be. So I know where to pop this in. Now this might not be like the greatest flamingo leggies, but it's also on the bottom edge where it's not really going to be seen. So I'm just kind of looking for some kind of color to be blocked in down here. Alright. Alright, do we need... No, that one's covered. Okay. We're gonna have to do another pass on that gray. But I need everything else to be dry before we can get that far. That's still wet. Okay. Any other time this paint is drying like mad crazy fast. Today it's like, no, we're gonna take our time. Okay. Alright, so we need to get some lighter pink in here on this guy. So we were doing hot pink for the body for our base coat. Right. We have taffeta pink, princess pink. I'm pretty sure I have another shade of pink, or we can go like more orangey on it. I like the orange. I like the coral. I do. It's like a pinky orange, but I don't think it's really gonna quite fit here. These two are very different shades of pink. This one feels a little more blue. see what this even looks like outside of our bottle here. Okay, that is very much light. Very much lighter. That is definitely a lighter shade. So, question becomes, who wants to take on this shade? Like I haven't showed everybody. Look at my pen. Isn't it awesome? Reminds me of Christmas so much. I don't know why. I love it. We haven't seen it on the needle felting streams yet because we haven't gotten to where we are doing a new one just yet. I need a super fine. I know you exist in here. I know it for a fact. My poofta back in there. Surprisingly enough, the cats haven't really bothered it up there, which is a good thing because a piece of it just fell off. Okay, that is still drying. Husband's like, oh, you should do like you should get your sponges and cut a piece that looks like a feather and just like sponge them on. I'm like, but then it's gonna look sponge painted. And then they're gonna be layered so much that that's not quite gonna work. It'll just be right back where we started with a blob of color. If I was doing it a little bit bigger, then perhaps that would work a little bit better. Now, I could have probably grabbed a slightly bigger brush for this. Sorry if I'm slurring a little bit. It's one of those days. I could have, but sometimes if I know I'm doing a bit more delicate line work, I will try to go a little bit smaller. just because I know my hands. You just went potty.
Momo, you're gonna have to wait a little, okay?
Momo, you just went potty with Dad. Or did I imagine that?
He wants to be outside. I will take you out in a little bit, but you gotta wait a little, okay?
Old man just wants to sit outside in the heat. Alright, so I grabbed a little bit of white there. Just to kind of feather. Kind of streak that in, blend it in just a little bit. Okay. Feels silly for having patched that one spot with the hot pink. But sorry, there was a fuzz in there. But if we didn't, we would have had completely oddly shaded patch there. Like, I'm torn if I should grab the that taffeta. No, we're in taffeta. If I should grab that princess pink for our highlights here. I'm picking up fuzzes from somewhere. I'm not entirely certain where. I'm not sure if it's coming from fuzz that landed in the white or if it's fuzz that landed in my pink here, or if it's just canvas fuzzies. That have gotten just picked up. I mean, we've got fans going. So it's not like it's a huge surprise. We've got little fuzzes. Like little fuzzes are gonna happen. So I'm picking up a little bit of our taffeta. And I'm dropping just a tiny bit of it off. On the edge of, well, not the edge, but on a spot on our plate here. Just because I don't want to really come in with so much of our my paintbrush bristles started to split there, so I'm like, stop and come back in from the other side, please. Like, I like the thinness of this brush. This brush is very old. There's one or two bristles on it that keep trying to go rogue and keep sticking out. I haven't tried the, what is it? The brush conditioner soap on it. That stuff that can help get the shape back on your brushes. It's such an old brush that I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it. I do have that new liney brush that we just bought. So, I mean, I do have that, but I was trying to specifically save that. For our line work where we need it. Now, I do like coming back in when we're all done and doing some line work around everybody, but I don't think I'm gonna do it on this one. I don't think it's gonna look right. Sorry, I'm just picking up some white. off of the other. I mean, in hindsight, I probably should have just put a little bit of white on this plate. So we didn't have to keep going back to the other one. So we'll just have to keep going back and forth because I don't really want to waste the other paint. I mean, we didn't put that much out. I didn't put that much of this out, and it's kind of all over. See, this one's very liquidy. It's rolling all over the place. Time to change sitting positions. As the one leg is getting a little angry there. Ooh, no, don't drop. Please don't drop. Now, if you're using a particularly small brush, I would recommend rinsing it every so often. If you're going to be using it for a while. Okay. Just to keep it from getting like gunked up and stuff. Especially if it's a really good detail brush. You're probably not going to want it to get all icky. Like, I like this brush, but I hate this brush at the same time. Because of my little rogue hairs that will try to sabotage me there. Sorry, again, I was just picking up some white paint there. Forgot to pull some of that extra pink off there. And I'm only doing that just so I don't bulldoze over our white bits here that got put in. Now, we could very well have saved ourselves a little bit of trouble and just made the this lighter pink our main color and like saved ourselves some time and not bothered with that dark pink. Number one, I wasn't quite sure how dark it was gonna dry. It dried darker than I kind of wanted. But to that same note, it's helping us in the long run. Because if we do have any thin spots with this lighter pink, it will show through as some shadowy fronts. So it kind of serves two purposes. A, we'd be here forever doing coats to build up the shade on this taffeta. And it only ended up taking 2 coats of the hot pink because it was a little bit darker. And we've got a built-in shadowy layer. I don't know, it just feels better with this hot pink under the sky. I don't know if this would have been the right shade of pink if we had not put the hot pink under it. So far, so good. Just picking up a little bit more of our white here. Trying to do shorter strokies. up in here. Alright, I'm gonna wipe off that shade on the palette. And then like we did before, gonna grab a little bit more of our taffeta. Drop off a little bit of the excess on a spot on the palette. Now I'm not like completely wiping the paint off, the pink. I'm like doing one drop dab and then coming back in and kind of painting over top of the areas that just got some white. Just trying to blend that in a little bit where we can get away with it. And now that I've met back up with our edge where we've left off, we're just gonna start laying down more of our just straight taffeta. Oh. There's a little paint gloopy that I did not really need to be in there. Now we could, in theory, grab some of this hot pink and see about blending that in with this as well. Now, I haven't done it yet. But I think we might do a little bit of that when we get back to our wing. Okay, so yeah, that's a much better shade on that guy. Sorry, time for a drink break. You alright?
Yeah,
What's wrong?
it's okay. Just drop something in an inconvenient way.
If he dropped his phone in the middle of his bacon, I'm gonna be so mad. What did you drop?
I dropped the lid to the mayonnaise. It's okay.
Okay. I'm gonna come back in with a bit of our white here. Just like the smallest amounts of white here. I don't want to go too crazy. Okay. Just gonna wipe off that. Pick up some more of our pink. Knock a little bit of it off. And then come back in. And then just see about trying to blend out, not entirely, right? Because we want a little bit of that to still show. That's why I went back up a little higher and added a little bit more white to that. Because I noticed we had a spot that didn't look like there were any. And it's just because we did too good of a job blending those white streaks in. Now I will probably have to redo the white in that area. That's okay. I would rather go over it again and have it look right. Then come back in. Then, you know, have it just look like, oh, hey, you missed a spot. Be like, what? No. Like that I don't want. Alright. So we're going to just work on getting some more of our I guess midway pink. It's not really light. It's not really, well, I mean, it's light compared to the color that we're going over top of. But it's not like a super light pink or like a baby pink. Okay. I think we might have to rinse this brush soon. Alright. So you can kind of see where we've gotten so far today. I have to go back and finish that eye. That eye is not done. I got sidetracked by my own brain here. Which does happen quite a bit, as anybody that's been here for a while can tell you. Alright, so we're going to grab a little bit more white. I'm going to start to put those guys in there. Let me switch plates here. Alright, so very short strokes. Just trying to get our feather direction. Basically. So I don't want too much brush pressure here. Just want to get these laid in here. Now I know that's like, oh my god, what are you doing? Don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to come back in with our pink. And revisit. Don't worry. Okay. So hope everybody's day's going well. Hope your weekend's going well. Don't know what you have planned. Hopefully they are plans that you have been looking forward to. Oh yeah, hold on. We need to rinse this. The brush was starting to get sticky, which is usually a sign that the paint's trying to dry in it, and we don't want that. That would not be good. And I really don't want to stop and have to fix that right now, so we haven't had to put any more taffeta down yet. Alright, so I'm just grabbing a little bit of our light pink again. And I'm just kind of going over where we just put those white guys. What time is it? Okay. Sorry, I have to keep track of the time. I can lose time pretty quickly. And it is homemade pizza night. And I am very much looking forward to that. Okay, so I mean, it's coming together. It's taken a little bit, but I also expected it to take a little bit. Now I do usually knock a little bit of paint off our brush here when I'm coming back over our white sections. Now, at that same note, we could come back in with our hot pink here, this color that's already down. And we could add a little bit of darkness in here. If we choose to. I don't know if I'm going to choose to today. That's gonna depend. Okay. Now, I'm probably gonna add a little bit of that hot pink back in bottom edge of our wing here. Make sure I grab the right pink here. First I'm going to get this taffeta put into here. We're probably going to need more of the taffeta here soon. Because it's drying on our plate here. Alright. Gosh, I've got my hair everywhere. I'm like, what is touching me? I'm shedding about as much as the dogs are, and the cats. I know it doesn't say it's a high pollen day, but man, it's a Benadryl day. I would like to keep tabs of the pollen forecast on the hay fields around here. My goodness. All right. So this paint tends to dry on the, thank you, loud vehicle. This paint tends to dry on the edges first. You can see where it started to solidify. Might not be coming through on the camera. So yeah, probably should get a bit more of that out, but I also want to use what's still liquid while it's still liquid first. I'm gonna get our mileage out of it here. Alrighty. And hopefully when we open this lighter pink, it doesn't explode on us. Now, to be fair, the last one didn't exactly explode. It just kind of dripped unexpectedly. When I flipped it upside down, I'm used to the other bottles being a little bit older and a little more solidified inside. a little thicker inside, and so when I turned that up and went to squeeze it onto our paint lid, it was very much a surprise when it dripped out onto my shirt. Thank goodness I wasn't holding it over the painting, because that 100% would have been a huge mess. Okay. So let me go and grab our white now. Our white's also starting to dry. Alright. So I'm just trying to do some short little brushy strokes here. Just like how we were doing up further. Okay. Let's see. It's like I want a little bit of the light pink in here. I want a little bit of the white. And then I want to grab a little bit more of our dark pink. And we'll see how that's gonna look here. I might be a little soon in grabbing that, but we'll see. Alright, let's swap lids here. Just want to grab a little bit of our dark pink here. I don't know if it's gonna do a whole lot. To grab this guy though. So I'm gonna try to blend that in just a little bit. On our edge here. I don't really have a good idea of how well that's gonna work until we start getting the rest of it in. Okay. Just wanted to clean up our brush there before we started to get a little too into our shading here. So it might work. We might have to come back in with that. And add that line in again. Motorcycles going by. That one made the box that my feet are sitting on vibrate. It's a very strange feeling. Alright, so we might have to come back with a little bit more white here. So I think our white got a little too blended in there. Happens. So we'll just come back in with a little bit wetter paint. Which I was a little worried that I had done that. It's fixable. It'll just take a little bit of time to adjust it back a little bit. And sometimes you won't really see where you may have gotten too carried away at first. This is one of those, take a quick breath. moments. And step back and look at what you're doing. Instead of just kind of going through the motions of it. Because it happens sometimes, you know? You get carried away. Our minds kind of wander. So it happens. This bottom edge is going to be a little tricky. But we're doing what we can with it. A little bit more white here. I don't want too much. I'm going to grab a little bit of our original hot pink here. And I'm just going to lay a little tiny bit of that in there. And we'll see how this goes. Back into our lighter pink here. That's taffeta. I think it all may have blended too much now. This one's going to be a little bit of a back and forth here. Wow, traffic got obnoxious. All of a sudden. My goodness, sorry about that. I'll apologize for their rudeness. That's all I can do about it. Because we live on a busy street. Well, it's busy at the times that I tend to stream. We'll put it that way. Yeah, that's probably as good as that's gonna get down in there. Mostly just because of how I am seeing this. We were doing so good with it. The heck happened? Like we got a little too deeply blended here or something. I might have stopped knocking the paint off. That might have been what it was. Might have just been too much. And instead of toning down the white, it just ended up swallowing it. Okay. Oh, my foot fell asleep. That's not good. That's not good. Ah! Change positions. Ooh. Ow. My hip popped. That's not good. We're just falling apart here today. That hip hop was very unexpected. Alright, we're just gonna rinse our brush here. Okay. Now, I think we need a little bit more of our taffeta. Ooh. That was a lot. And our white's kind of drying on the other dish. So, how about we grab just a little bit and put it onto this dish. Hang on, I have to change out my setting and get my chair to stop eating my rug. And I think I found where the cat was ill. This morning. No, no, no. I don't want to slide out of my chair. I want my chair to come forward. There's a difference. Thank you. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So let's start in here. The upper section of our flamingo body here. I still have to finish the eye. The eye is not done. Because I know it looks kind of creepy and sad. It's not done yet. I know this. I was like, oh, well, while that dries, let's start on this, and just haven't gotten back up to him yet. We will. Don't worry. We're gonna get back up there. Just haven't quite gotten back up to it yet. Sorry for no stream avatars today. Again, we don't run it on art days. Mostly because a lot of the time, take our art live streams and time-lapse them down, edit out the larger breaks. You have a Momo.
I'm sure I do. Hang on.
Do I have to get him?
No, I got him.
My white shot forth, or not the white, the pink shot forth into our palette. A little bit harder than I had expected. So it kind of ate up where I was originally dabbing all of this off onto. Now these are just food container lids that we were reusing. The containers shattered, or for whatever reason we had more lids than containers. So we took the lids, or I took them, and I tend to repurpose them a bit here. So it doesn't matter if they get a little too crusty here and there, because we were already reusing them. I do have a couple of actual paint palettes, but for stuff like this, I'm okay using this, because I don't need like a specific paint well. When we're using the dotting tools, I need like a specific paint well to keep the paint from running everywhere, because of how much I water it down there. So this is where we're at so far today. No, it's not super exciting. And that we're not flying through this part like we were on our leaves. But these are taking a little bit more fiddling with. Alright. Try to keep my hand out of the paint. That's always a bit of a challenge. And I also have a specific paint palette for our oil painting. I don't want to mix the oil paint with anything else, even palettes, because your acrylic paints are not going to be too happy with you. About that. And most definitely not your watercolors. You want separate brushes, separate palettes, everything. If it touches oil paint, it belongs to oil paint now. Like, sometimes you can commingle in a pinch an acrylic brush with gouache or watercolor if you absolutely have to. I know there's a lot of watercolor specialists out there that's all they do, that would just like gasp in horror. But if you're in a pinch, I wouldn't do it for very long. And I would make sure that that brush is well and truly clean. And I wouldn't, you know, definitely not long term, but if you need that specific line, maybe. But oil paint, absolutely not. Alright, so I'll probably have to redo a little bit of that section that we just did. With the white, and that's okay. I needed to be able to blend where the new pink edge was with the older drying pink edge. Okay. One of these days we'll get this palette food lid whatever you want to refer to it as, cleaned up. Probably when we're done this specific project, since I don't know what we're gonna move on to next from here. Like, I kind of want to do a gouache. But I'm not sure. What I want to do. Like, I have a few ideas. We really should get back to our Bob Ross project with the gouache. We will see. Like, I do want to get back to it. I still am in season 1 on that. But I can also do stuff that's not tutorial based. Like, it is possible. I've got some oil paintings that I've recorded doing in Bob Ross style that were done without a tutorial. And just using reference image. Which is also partially why I look at the end piece on Bob stuff when we're doing our test layout sketches before we start our needle felting, following his tutorials. I try to do that quick layout reference sketch in the colored pencil, looking at the final image just so I can work on wrapping my head around the whole final image, working from a reference photo type thing. If that sort of makes sense. Probably doesn't. But you know what? That's okay. Because as long as it makes sense to my brain, since I'm the one that's doing it, That's the important part, right? Okay. So our Mingo guy is coming along. Slowly. Painstakingly slowly, but he's coming. Tomorrow we'll be back working on our needle felting. And we might, I think we will probably wrap up episode 12 that we've been following along with tomorrow. Migraine permitting, of course. So I'll have to remember that I need to get up a little bit earlier so we can make some space here. On the desk because we need the glue gun out. I'm not sure when I'm going to plug him in. We probably won't plug him in till right before we're ready to use him. Alright, we're just grabbing a little bit of our white here. Little tiny. Hang on. My arm was itchy. Sorry. Little tiny short strokey guys, if you can. Or at least that's what I'm doing. And you guys feel free to do whatever you want. Pretty happy with the progress we made on Tappy Feet Children's Zoo yesterday. We've almost got that entry plaza to where we're good to go. Almost. But we definitely made progress. I'm excited to get back into that. Planet Coaster announced Planet Coaster 2 coming this fall. They're going to have water rides. That's kind of like water parky rides, like drop slides and stuff. That looked kind of neat. Husband and I have dabbled a little bit in Planet Coaster. I don't know if we did a live stream with it. Maybe once. I know we did Parkitect. I'm talking Planet Coaster. Maybe way back before we got Planet Zoo. Maybe? If we did, it was some time ago. And then I kind of got more mentally invested in Planet Zoo, so I stopped really paying attention to the DLCs that were coming out for Coaster and stuff. Because the attention had basically shifted elsewhere. And there was a weird little thing in there about building with your friends. I don't know how that's gonna work. But the husband and I were like, huh. Maybe we can actually do a park together without having to trade the file back and forth. Like we had to do for Zoo. So we are definitely intrigued. Don't know if his computer will be able to run it yet. I'm thinking probably not. I'm thinking his computer's... It's already struggle busing at times with Diablo 4. So I'm like, I don't know. Alright. Let me rinse our brush here. The brush was getting a little sticky. In one particular spot on it. Okay. Ooh, let's not spill that. Okay. Let's not. Alright, time to come back in over top of our dark pink here. And start filling in. Feeling a fan blowing on me and I'm not sure why. Our ceiling fan's not on. Gotta be the husband's fan. Because the other fan that blows into our room tends to not reach me. In our little corner over here. Oh goodness, now my ears are popping. What is happening today? We're not supposed to get any more meaningful rain till much later in this upcoming week. Isn't good. I'm actually really surprised they have not instituted a burn ban yet. Not that the people in this area are gonna follow it. As a good portion of them don't give a flying fuck about anything but themselves, but I am surprised. We haven't gotten one yet. There are at least one set of individuals that are still shooting fireworks off as of not last night but the night before. I was like, are you serious? It's well past the 4th of July here, friends. And it's definitely not outside city limits, so it sounded like it was a street over. Oh, my back didn't like that. Oh dear. That was an unhappy pinch. Shit. Scoliosis sucks. Like, they never tell you about the pinchy pains later in life. Ow. Oh, yeah, no, I can't move that way. Shit. And it's not like I'm moving that way on purpose. It's subtle. I'm just kind of slightly rocking to the side when I move my arm back. Damn. That particular vertebrae is not happy. Wow. Holy cow. So excited for a flamingo. Hope the weather doesn't mess anything up and we can still go. Because there's no guarantee that we'll be able to reschedule our flamingo tickets to a date that there's hotel availability if something comes up. And with the way Flamingo sells out, so fast, highly unlikely that there would even be flamingo availability on a different date. Okay. A little bit more. Oh, he's been outside the whole time. I thought he had come in. Did that make for a happy Momo?
I think so. He finally decided he wanted to come in.
For some reason, I thought you would come in the other door. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to do anything?
Nope. You actually want to go out now? You absolute dick. Alright, come on. Try to get you to come out earlier.
You were gone long enough where I guess he decided he missed something.
You want to go out?
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if he's just wanting the attention now because he's jealous that Momo got one-on-one attention. You might have to pick him up. Because he's been having trouble.
He does a little bit better when he uses that as a stepping stool.
I just don't have room in here to put another step in.
You have to take out this bed, but that doesn't work out because Susan uses the bed.
Sometimes Momo uses it too when they're fighting over the other bed. So it doesn't really work too well. Okay. Alright, so let's start in on our wing shape here. How? I feel like this last dollop of taffeta might be starting to get a little dry on our plate. Just a little bit. So I'm just trying to get our shape in here. Or at least that's the idea. Alright. Start to get in our other white here. What's the matter?
No, none of that now.
Momo, you just came in. Did he pee?
No, he just sat out there. He just wanted to be outside.
It's not time for dinner yet, Momo. Alright, so I'm just kind of getting little bits of white like we've been doing. And just kind of working those in here. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Whew. Windows 11 just updated the temperature outside from 89 to 91. I'm not sure if that's really correct or not. I know it was a little bit toasty when I took Momo earlier. Actually, probably a little bit warmer. Alright, so back to our taffeta. Uh-oh. The phone. The phone is ringing. Give me a minute. Alright, sorry about that. Our phone tells us who's calling. Sometimes I'm in a position, like verbally, it announces who's calling. Sometimes I'm able to mute the microphone in time. Other times I'm not. Oh, what time's your doctor's appointment on Monday?
I have an alarm set.
Okay. I kind of forgot about it that fast. They sure can get you in there quickly when they want to.
Well, they did arrange this like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
No. Back when they changed my prescription.
Yeah.
That's when they arranged it. So it's been more than 3 weeks.
Oh, you didn't.
It's been like a month and a half.
You didn't tell me then that they had made the appointment. Yeah. I thought like this just came up like a couple days ago. They're like, "Oh, hey, we need to get you in here." I was gonna say it seemed awfully fast for that doctor's office. They had him on like a certain supply of medication, and then the great insurance war that's been happening over him. The one that's finally decided that they are going to be handling his insurance, because it was going back and forth between Blue Cross and the state. It finally settled on Blue Cross, and Blue Cross is like, yeah, we're not paying for you to have that many. That has to be a smaller amount. And, I'm like, what? They had given him enough where he could take 2 in the morning, 1 at night, or 2 at one point in the day, and then 1 later in the day or something. And, but he couldn't bring himself to do the double dose, so he's only been doing the single. Like, the single each time. And, insurance is like, well, we're not going to pay for that many pills a month. And I'm like, but what if you were doing the double and the single like you were supposed to be? So what, you wouldn't have been able to do it then? Like, the doctor's office wanted to leave that available to him. I'm like, well, that's a hell of a thing. But at this point, it's not like he's going to be able to stop taking what he's on. It's not going to make it magically better. It's just not. It hasn't so far. I mean, it helps. Don't get me wrong. It does help, but it's not going to just make it go away. This is a long-term thing here. kind of surprised that our pink is drying so quickly now. Alright. Just kind of working on following our wingy shape here. Alright, let's rinse this guy again. We're getting there with him. Slowly. He's coming along. Okay. Oh, there's some fresh paint there. Alright. Like, I knew there still had to be some in there. Okay. So I just want to keep following my wing shape line thing here. Don't want to start with our under portion just yet. That's oh, we're getting a bit globby. So that I don't really want to be pulling on in here, so I think we may have exhausted all of the usable. Without it getting glumpy. So I think we're gonna have to put a little bit more down here. Alright, let's see. Taffeta. Give that a good shaky shake. Where do we want you to go? We'll put you up here so that way I can keep track of you. Okay. Gosh, yeah, our white's drying a bit there too. Already, what time? Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a huge amount of white though. I do feel air blowing. I think it's the husband's fan. From his desk. Usually he's sitting there blocking it. Which is why I think I'm feeling it. Okay. Wipe off that extra. So the white is still pretty wet in this section. So we are going to proceed carefully. So we don't destroy it all. After we just went to the trouble of putting that in. So we're just grabbing a little bit of our taffeta here. And just kind of coming in with our white there, just kind of blending the two together. Not too much, because I want a little bit of the white to still shine through there a bit. I know it can be a little hard to see with the glare from the wet paint, which is why I like this paint, because when it dries it's matte, so we don't have to worry about glare too much as we go, because some of the artist tube paints have a bit of a shine to them. And it can make it a little challenging with all of the lighting. So I haven't decided yet if we're doing a stream tonight. I just don't know yet. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Don't really have any reference images ready to go for stream. Like, I have reference photos. I just don't know. I just don't think I have any that are set up to be placed on stream. I have to do dishes tonight, so that's gonna take a minute after dinner. Though I suppose I could start them before dinner, but I'm making dinner, or like while dinner's cooking, but I don't think that'll give me quite enough time to get them done. So we will have to see. How things go here. Kind of leaning towards no stream tonight. Honestly, I do have a few things I have to get done tonight. I did realize last night, though, I'm a video ahead of where I thought I was editing. So, yay. That's always helpful. I actually got scared. I'm like, did I skip a video? But I don't believe I did, because I've been matching up the thumbnails with where I'm at editing the whole time. And I haven't really seen anything that would give me too much pause there and be like, like everything looks like it's been going in order. So that's a little strange, but good. I hadn't thought I had made it quite that far through. And I'm sorry the video editing's taking a little bit longer than usual, but life's been busy. And I'm trying to get a barbarian leveled in D4 so the husband and I can try to complete this last boss we need. I don't know if I'm gonna have time. Time's running out, so I've been trying to work on that as much as I can. Okay. So we've got this little section left here. We're gonna get worked in here. I do need to get some more stuff recorded this week that I need to get edited for while we're away. I'm hopeful I can get it recorded. I'm pretty sure I can get it recorded. I might have to set stuff up to go up on YouTube every other day. Just so I don't leave you guys so long with nothing going up. So we'll probably be away from streaming for 2 weeks with the way my off-stream days fall, and we're gonna need time to decompress when we get back and get back into the crazy routine of life with the mother-in-law and his aunt back in town. Okay. I don't really have a whole lot of that I can use. That's pretty much dry. Don't really need a lot of this, so I'm glad only that little bit came out. It's not really doing it for me though. I know that seems strange. I forgot about my lower back pinched. So, yeah, no, we probably won't do another stream today. On second thought, that would probably not be the best idea. Wow, that went very purple. Didn't it? Oh, you guys can't really see it, I don't think. No, that's off camera. That's fine. Well, let's see. How this'll fall into place here. So this is just kind of my underwing shadowing here. Got a little bit of that rainy day gray mixed in. See how this looks here. It's not too bad. Like, it's not super stellar, but kind of working. Kinda, sorta. I mean, we have the little bit of the suggestion of darkness in there, which is really the main goal here. I mean, it's kind of there. Oh, no, you come back. You stay there. I mean, it's kind of there. Alright, so let's kind of finish out our feathery guys here. If we can. It's not too terrible. That won't be as bright white. Here in a minute. Well, that one got a little carried away there, didn't it? I've got a couple that got a little carried away in there. Alright. I am gonna rinse this. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I hope you're having a good day, Impossible. So we still got a little ways to go on this. I hope you are well. And that you are enjoying your day. Good. I'm just gonna knock off some of that taffeta again. So I just want to lighten up. Not really lighten, but I want to darken our highlight a little bit, if that makes sense. I want to tone it down a little. Just to try to blend it in a little bit more. Like, I don't want it to completely go away. But, I do want it toned down just a little bit. It got a little crazy there in spots. Alright, that's pretty good there. Okay. I'm alright, thank you. Another atrociously hot Saturday. Here in our area. Trying to stay inside so we don't roast. Because it's pretty toasty outside. Sorry, I was making sure they didn't throw us under a heat advisory. I saw a notification pop up. They did not yet, so yay. Perfect for staying in and making art. Absolutely. Absolutely. We are Working on acrylic painting today at the moment. Tomorrow we will be needle felting. I neglected to take care of our leggy because I forgot it was visible on the bottom edge. So we're gonna get our leggy fixed up here. He needed a second coat. Finally getting back to him. Alright, how do I want to do this? Do I want to do it in pink or do I want to do it in black? If I can find the black that was wet on here. Yeah, I don't really have that much of it. No, that's pretty much dry. Alright, well, how about we take some of our hot pink here. Oh, we got a little bit of black on there. Alright. Okay. Alright, so the flamingo leggies kind of have these little ridges on them. It's not going to be super realistic. But, you know, we can try. So what is your, do you do art, Impossible? Or do you just like watching other people do art? I'm just curious. Some people just like to watch other people do it. And some people also dabble a bit. And like to pop around to other streams to get ideas for themselves. Or to see what people are doing with certain mediums. Alright, we gotta get that eye fixed up here. Alright, let me see if I can find the color I'm looking for. Oh, you do sculpture. Oh, right. Oh my god. That's right. My brain is so tired, I completely forgot. Sorry about that. I thought the name was familiar. Right. Appreciate that. And here to see your work in... Oh, thank you. That's right. I completely forgot. I don't read that often. Because I usually don't have that many people here. So I don't always. That was way too much paint for this. I need like 3 drops. I'd prefer to get my dotting tools for this, but at the same time, I really don't feel like pulling them out for one thing. If I had thought about it ahead of time, I would have pulled them out earlier. Because I am terrible at painting circles. It's hot as fuck where you're at too. Yeah, no, we're in what the hell are we? We're in northwestern Arkansas right now. Not as hot as some places in the country, but hot enough. We had like 4 or 5 days where we were just in a constant heat advisory, and we were just absolutely melting. We have whole house central air conditioning. However, for some reason, and we don't know why, the air ducts in our room don't put out any cold air. They don't put out any air at all. Except in the winter, we get cold air blowing through whenever the wind blows outside. So we're pretty sure there's a hole somewhere in the ducts that connect to our room. Everybody else in the house has AC. So we either have to get a window unit, which we were discussing, or just toughing it out. We have a whole bunch of fans set up in the house to kind of blow the cold air from rooms that aren't really being used towards ours. But it gets pretty hot in the room that we're in because the husband's computer's in here, and we have... Sorry, I thought I saw a fuzz on the end of that paintbrush. We also have my computer. The 2 ring lights I'm using. Plus, we have the crab tank for the hermit crabs. And they've got hot pads, like heating pads for them stuck to... That's not bad. Stuck to the side of it, so it can get kind of warm in here at times. Plus, we're right off of our kitchen. So when it gets super hot, we try not to cook if we can help it. Or try not to do too much that's going to make the whole kitchen too hot, because then we absorb it. Although, we've also noticed that anytime after like 4:30, 5 p.m. in here, it just gets sweltering no matter what we do. Which is kind of crazy. Yeah, we were doing that for a few days. It still got super hot in here. Alright, let me switch plates here. Our recycled lids that we are reusing. Where do I want to set you? I guess set you there for right now. So, we did a base of hot pink on this guy. And then we did the taffeta on top. And then we did the white to kind of get some little feathery highlights in there. I think even though it took a while, I think we're going to do the same thing on the other guy. Just so that we don't have too much of a shade difference here between the two. I think that's what we're going to do here. Which hot pink were we? Oh, we were using this one. I've got 2 bottles out of the same color. So I'm using acrylic craft paint. It's cheaper, which means it's more budget friendly for me because I'm broke. Like we're seriously broke. And art supplies are expensive. And number 2, I like how fluid they are. I don't necessarily really enjoy the thicker artist tubes of paint. I like that these guys dry matte. I mean, I'm sure there's some that have a gloss finish. Those cost a little bit more. But these just work better for me. I'm more used to using them. And they don't cause too much of a glare problem with the lights like some of the artist tubes can. Part of me's always wanted to try pottery and like pottery wheels and stuff. I know I'd be absolutely horrible at it. And I don't have like room for kilns and all that. But I did love playing with like the glazes and stuff the couple times that we did stuff in art classes that involved it. I had some Sculpey for a while, didn't really do much with it. Like we'd done some accents to add on to some art pieces. I was gonna make pins with them, but then I was having trouble finding sealer that didn't make it sticky. And then by the time I finally found a sealer that worked with the Sculpey that I had, I didn't feel like doing it anymore. I was like, I'm over this. That's okay. But I see so many cool things that people make with all of the clays and stuff, even like the air dry clay. I've been tempted to pick up some of that. Sculpt us a flamingo. I'm a little nervous about time though. That are dry times too. Yeah, for acrylic. We do oil sometimes. We do oil once in a while. I'm working on a series of oil painting videos where we're making magnets out of 4-inch wood slices. I know that's probably a little big for a magnet, but I can't really paint any smaller than that and keep my sanity. It's really difficult to find small brushes. There's a woman on Instagram who does all her ceramics in her microwave. It's kind of amazing. In her microwave, really? I didn't know you could do that. Is this like a specific like art microwave that she's using? Like I imagine she doesn't use it for food also. Huh. That's kind of intriguing. Interesting. Just regular microwave. She does tutorials for free. Huh. Glazes and everything. Wow. I didn't think you could do that. Like, I thought you had to have, like, full-on kiln and shit. Really? Huh. That's kind of fascinating. Need to know her secrets. They all thought you couldn't, and she found a way. Huh. Wow. I bet that's a secret she doesn't want to give up too much. Although if you follow her tutorials, you would find out. But, her microwave has a special touch, I guess. Interesting. Very interesting. Like, I kind of like the look of oils. Kind of. We do some Bob Ross style oil painting. We do follow a fair number of his tutorials. I will say that. We are just wrapping up finishing needle felting along with some of his tutorials. Because I hadn't seen anybody doing it. I saw all kinds of people painting along with the tutorials, and we've even painted along with them. With all the oil paints, the whole 9 yards. And then I kind of got out of oils for a while and got rid of everything, and then the husband and I did an art giveaway at our local farmers market, because we were testing the waters really to see is there even an interest for this in our community, because it's kind of a small town that we're currently living in. That was like farming community turning into suburb kind of deal. And I wasn't really sure what I should price stuff, and I've had very little luck selling stuff on Etsy. I just don't know if I'm just being swallowed up or what have you, getting drowned out by other people that are much better than me, which, fair enough. But we weren't really sure about what to price it, and then I really wasn't sure what to do about sales tax and stuff, and because we hadn't sold in person before, and I didn't have the little credit card dongle set up on our phone to do that and everything, and I kind of needed room trying to clear out some of the art that we had. So we're like, well, what if we just give it away and we do a tip jar? Because this is stuff that didn't sell when we had the Etsy shop going, and it was starting to get a little banged up from holding on to it, and the one thing I thought I was going to have to make a repair on, but I didn't have to. And so we're like, okay, so we went down there and we did a giveaway, and I got rid of almost everything before the farmer's market ended for the day. I was like, oh, okay. I think I had 7 things left, and everybody loved the magnets that I had. And I was like, really? I could not give these fuckers away on Etsy. And everybody here is like, oh, these are magnets? Oh, these are great. And I was like, okay. Sure. So we're working on getting some more of those made up. All free, and she just tells you how to do it. Wow, I'm gonna have to look into that. Let's track her down on Instagram, because that is fascinating. And I mean, we think we made more in tips doing a free giveaway than if I had actually been selling the stuff. Because there's a lot of families in our community that are struggling quite a bit this time of year. And it was so, like, it made it worth it to see the kids coming up to the table and getting excited that the stuff was free when their parents said they could take one. And then the parents were like tipping a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. Some people were tipping me $5, $6, $7, and I'm like, okay, you didn't have to, but okay. So it kind of made it worth it sitting out in the sun, and we got sunburnt, and it was on our anniversary, so it's like we could have been doing other stuff, but we kind of needed to get rid of the overflow of stuff just kind of laying around. So we're like, oh, well, let's go do it this day. And it was kind of fun seeing all the kids be like, oh my god, this is great. And we had some adults too that were like, And then the one guy's like, well, hold on, we have to tip. This stuff's not free to make. I'm like, no, it's not free, but you don't have to tip if you're not able to. It's fine. I'm like, whatever, we get just gonna go back into getting more art supplies. So then, since the oil painting magnets were such a hit, husband's like, you really should get back into it. And I'm like, but it's oil painting. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, but I got rid of all the oil painting stuff. Like, all of it, when we cleaned, like, 3 months ago. Because the tubes I'd had them for a while, they were leaking, I'd gotten rid of my paint thinner. Actually, no, we were discussing how we were going to get rid of the paint thinner. I'm not sure where that bucket ended up. We think it's on the porch somewhere, in a kitty litter bucket. So we were trying to figure out how our town was going to handle the paint thinner disposal. And I think we finally landed on where they decided to just pour kitty litter in it and throw it away. I'm like, but it's not like house paint, which is what they said to do with that, and everything we found just said to do that. I'm like, okay. Are you sure? That doesn't sound quite right, but okay. Our town, what can I tell you? But we hadn't quite gotten to that yet. but he's like, no, you really should. I'm like, I don't know if I want to get back into the oil painting. It's such a pain in the ass. The dry time on the oil painting is what's the pain in the ass with, like, I can't do the lavender scented shit. I'm kind of allergic to lavender. It gives me, it makes me not be able to breathe so well. So, I had an allergic reaction to, lilac and lavender comboed together, fabric softener that the mother-in-law insisted on using. And she had her clothes hung out on the line, and the wind came up, and I got like a face full of it, and I was like, oh my god. I was coughing and hacking and couldn't breathe for like the rest of the day properly. It was horrible. So we found out that fun way that I can't do lavender, and a lot of like the normal solvents now are like lavender scented, sort of. Like, no, can't do any of that. So we ended up getting all new oil paints. We went with smaller tubes this time, though. Husband's like, I don't care buying you more, but if you've like gone through it all. But we got some large tubes and like the colors that we use a lot of. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. Some of the people in this community, though, are like, really? That's an interesting take on that. But I think all communities probably have those types of people. And it's a smaller community. Well, it started out smaller. I think when we first moved here, well, his mom had family down here, and then him and his mom were living with his grandmother, and the grandmother sold her house, and then they moved down here, so they just kind of came with his grandmother, and then she was doing an apartment for a while, and then her family pushed her into buying this house that we're currently sitting in. They kind of pushed her into this purchase many years ago. The house was paid off because it wasn't very much money, and they had gotten inheritance that early that went to pay it off and stuff. It's not in the greatest shape, though, and it wasn't then either, but they kind of pushed her into getting it. But the town's very small. Like I said, it was a farming community, kind of turned suburb now. When the husband moved to New Jersey with me, and we lived up there for a few years, and then family drama, so we moved down here. It's a whole thing that I don't think we have enough time to tell the whole story right now. So I've told it before, but I'm sure it's on live stream archives on the YouTube channel. But when we moved down here together and moved in with his mom, I think the population was just under 5,000. I think that was back in, oh gosh. See, time and I don't get along very well. I lose track of years real easy. I think we moved down here in 2012. I think. Yeah, pretty much. And since then, the town has gotten bigger, and there are multiple Facebook pages now run by multiple townsfolk that have their different rules for what can be said on their pages and what can't, and some pages are invite only, and Some pages only allow you to post about unicorns and rainbows involving the town, and you're not allowed to say one bad thing about the town. And I'm like, but that's just not reality. Like, every town's gonna have its cons and stuff, and like, huh? Like, people ought to be able to talk about it, and they're like, not on this page, and I'm like, okay. Facebook's its own sort of wild, wild west. I mean, I know Facebook itself is trying to combat with people being all keyboard aggressive, I guess we should say, on there, but it's gotten worse over the years. So some of the people in this town, I'm like seeing their takes on Facebook, and they're not posting anonymously, so you know who they are, at least in name. I don't know names to faces, but I'm like, huh, but how do you really feel? And so it's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, you do realize that everybody's gonna see these comments, right? Like you do realize that, right? It's like, I hope these comments don't come back to bite you in the ass. I think the population now is just under, no, it's just over 7,000. They keep shoving in subdivisions every which way possible. We're kind of over this town. We want out of here so bad. We can't yet, though. It's gonna be a few years before that's even viable. But we've picked out where we want to go. Well, we think we've picked out where we want to go. We're surrounded by hay fields here. People be wild on the internet. Yeah, and I'm like, you do realize this is, you know, town Facebook pages? Like, people know you. This isn't like some anonymous, like Reddit posting here. Like, people are gonna know who you are, but okay, if that's how you really feel about it, alright, sure. You bet. So we're surrounded by hay fields, pretty much. Like, not like right up against the property, but there's hay fields that like surround the area. And just down the street from us, and it's very windy here. I seem to be allergic to hay. We found this out. I've actually been sick since we moved here, like in 2012, with my allergies. It's been god awful. Like, it's not getting any better. Like, no amount of allergy medicine seems to be helping. And it's been steadily getting worse. And just, like, before it would be for, like, small periods of time, and now it's just, like, the whole year. The whole fucking year. Or I'm battling something with my allergies. I'm like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this indefinitely with it not getting any better. Without even like a small reprieve. However, we know it's something specific to this area because when we leave the state to go to the zoo in Oklahoma, which we do once or twice a year, I'm fine. I feel perfectly fine. Within like a half an hour of leaving the state. Nothing bothers me. I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. When we went to Florida earlier this year, we were fine. Nothing bothered us. Because the husband's starting to feel it now, too. And so is my mom. But my mom's refusing to move from here, so my mom lives with us now, too. Long story. We are living in the mother-in-law's house. She's usually here, but she's not right now. Lately she's been traveling with her sister. who got an RV so they can go travel places, but this past summer they've been mostly up where she used to live in New Hampshire, where the sister still lives, because of other things going on that the sister had to take care of up there. But so it was my parents and his mom all living under the same roof for a while. It was interesting. Very stressful. But yeah, I'm allergic to this area pretty bad. That and the people, I'm like, I'm done. People in this town are making me nervous every day. We're just starting coat number 2 on our flamingo. Yeah, and we weren't sure what it was. There's a particular tree that may have been really bothering me during the spring, but we're not positive it was this one specific tree, because there were a couple going off at the same time. And upon research, the town that we may want to move to when we leave here also has that tree, and I'm like, oh no. I'm like, well, that's gonna be off the table. He goes, well, no, not necessarily. He goes, it might not be that tree. I was like, yeah, it might not be, and maybe if it's not compounded with all of the hay fields, it'll be a little bit easier to deal with. So we're planning on taking a road trip up that way at some point in maybe the next year, and spending maybe 2 nights up that way, getting a feel for the area, finding out some information on how they handle things, because it was a little unclear on the one website I found for the town. It's a much bigger, I guess it's more of a city. It's not as big as the city we live near or outside of. It's about half that size, but we need to get some more information on how they handle trash pickup and fees and that sort of stuff, because that was a little fuzzy on the website, because they referred to something as a cart, but they weren't really explaining what a cart was to them, and I'm like, well, is that the trash can, or is that something to put the trash cans in? Like, I'm confused. So, because we're not from that area at all, and the heat's killing us here too. We're both becoming more and more heat sensitive, and during our heat wave, where we were under heat advisories for like 24 hours, like around the clock for like 4 or 5 days. It was ridiculous. They had a low in the 50s, and I'm like, like, I want to move now. All right, you have a good day. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate that. Have fun. I hope your stream goes well. Appreciate it. I know sometimes it takes time to get ready and gotta do stuff, but thank you. Alright. So it's getting near our end time for the day, anyhow. quite there yet, but we're getting there. I just wanted to finish up this coat on this guy. Our eye came out pretty well, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, no, husband and I are kind of done with down here. Like, we were talking about moving to Florida at one point, but we're nervous about doing that. Like, I kind of would like to, but at the same time, the hurricanes are an issue. And I don't know if I want to deal with that the older I get, and deal with the stress of a storm potentially destroying my house. Because I'm not getting any younger. And homeowners insurance is really expensive, if you can even get it. Because a lot of homeowners insurance places are pulling out from down there. Oh. And one policy doesn't cover you for hurricanes. You have to have flood, you have to have wind, you have to have this, you have to have that, and at least for some companies. And I don't know. We're going to be on a very tight income. I don't think it's going to work as much as I would like to be there, but between that and the heat, like, the heat here has been terrible. I'd love to visit Key West, and it does get hot there, but you're also on an island, and you've got breezes. It's not like stagnant, still air like it can be here at times. So I will still visit, but visiting it's a little different than being in it constantly day in, day out, with little relief from it. Alright. Just want to finish up our... I should have gotten those leaves before we moved on to the flamingo, but that's okay. I had the pink out, so I want to deal with this first. So we have some oil paintings drying for our new magnets that we're working on. I've got a couple of those painting sessions recorded. Those are going to go up on YouTube once I get them edited. Husband is still working on that one edit. He's not always up to working on it. He's almost done though. So I don't want to start over from scratch and just do it myself at this point. Because he's almost done. It'll be faster for him to finish than for me to start over. I'm a little nervous about time though, because we're gonna have to start Christmas presents soon. I still don't know what I'm gonna do for the mother-in-law. Or her sister. Like, I don't know, man. Hi, Momo. It's not time yet. Are you standing behind me? Probably. It's not quite time yet, Momo. Give me a few more minutes. You've been outside a lot this afternoon. Momo, why don't you go see Daddy? I'm almost done, and then I can take you potty, okay? We don't have a yard that we can just turn them out into. The doggos, that is. We have a yard, but it's not fenced in. And we've got hawks and turkey buzzards and shit around here, so I wouldn't necessarily leave them outside unattended anyway, because they are small dogs. And I have seen the one dog dig at one point. Granted, they were much younger when I saw that, but I wouldn't put it past them, and it's too hot for them to sit outside unattended in their old man puppy age. I believe they're going to be 13 this year, I think. Like I said, time gets away from me, and I don't really remember. Alright, you can kind of see our pencil line in there in that dark shadow. Kinda. Our shadow here came out decently. Alright. So we're gonna work on getting cleaned up here, because that's as far as we've got time for today. But we did get this guy done. We did get Mingo number 1 done. We still need to get our flowers here, here, here. We got some leaves here and some leaves back here. And then we have to get this flamingo done. So, I don't know. It might be 2 more sessions on this guy. Maybe. Because we're going to have to do our taffeta pass and then our shading and stuff. And I think this guy might be a little bit harder to shade because we've got some different things going on in there. So I think he's going to be a little more time consuming. So I'm thinking at least 2 more sessions. Probably the next session just on this guy, more than likely. And then the last session will probably be on the flowers before we wrap this guy up. I don't know what we're doing when we're done this guy yet. I haven't thought that far ahead. We'll figure it out when we get there. We might do a doodle, we might do a gouache, I don't know. Have to think about it. But we'll see. Tomorrow we will be back doing needle felting, working on our Bob Ross needle felting series. I think, fingers crossed, we'll be finishing up. I think I was out of frame for a lot of that, sorry. I think we will be finishing up episode 12 with a bit of luck. And then that means on Monday, oh, excuse me, shit, excuse me, that means Monday we would be starting our sketch for the last tutorial in this series, which would be episode 13. So see how things go with that. And then of course Tuesday and Wednesday we don't have any streams scheduled. And then Thursday we'll be back with Coral Island. So that's kind of how things are shaping up for the rest of the week. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Don't forget to go check out Impossible Realities. Impossible Realities. Did I spell it right? Yeah, I spelled it right. So they'll be streaming in a little bit. And I will see everybody tomorrow for needle felting. Don't forget to follow the link to the socials down below. We've got the X Twitter, the Ko-fi, the Instagram, and the YouTube. YouTube has just about almost all of our live streams archived over there. And you'll see occasionally something pop up that we didn't live stream that will be brand new. So I will see everybody tomorrow. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. We're not doing a bonus stream tonight. I pinched something that's not happy, so I will see everybody tomorrow. And have a good one.